Williams' agent has come out and said he's going to be ready for the start of the season, and there were reports of him having contact with multiple teams. So if you're a Dolphins fan, you're asking, will Connor Williams return to the Miami Dolphins? I've even seen, should the Dolphins bring back Connor Williams? Well, I'm going to answer all that to the best of my ability in just a second. But I want to preface, as I go into this, with a little bit that if you watch me, I have strengths, I have weaknesses. Everybody does. I think the offensive line has been one of my strengths, and Connor Williams has been one of those real strengths. I said this before anybody, big or small, in the football arena that I know. You can hear me saying this. So it really suits him moving inside. Still think he could be a quality left guard, but for me, Coach Curtis would say, get him at center, get him in there, and this kid could have a stellar career. And it will also help him with the leaning because... And so I kind of called Connor moving to center before anyone. And there was reasons for that. And I think it's played out exactly as I said, in the good and the bad. And I think when you tie that together, it's just very clear what's going to happen with Connor and Miami. And I think what his intentions for the future are going to be. It's just my evaluation. I once said Matt Ryan was going to do really well with the Colts. And I think he did, but they wanted him to be the Matt Ryan to carry the teams. But anyway, it didn't go well. So I get things wrong here. But take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. If you really consider it, I think it's pretty clear. Okay, so a lot of you have been asking me in the emails. I just started getting back to them. And in the comments, I hope you're well. Well, I think I finally found out one of my long-standing issues. My kids like to use my stomach as a trampoline. One popped me open for hernia like 8 years ago. No one jumped on me. I felt something weird. I didn't really pay much attention to it. But I guess when I got sick, somehow the stomach or intestines popped through the hole in the sheath in my muscle lining, and it made me feel like I was dying. And so now I got this new thing I learned. You reach under your rib cage here, you pull really hard, and that little bump you're going to see through the hole in your sheath and your lining, it actually comes back. So I've learned how to pull my stomach back through my muscle wall, and I feel real good. I'm starting to feel real better. Dropped a lot of weight. So that is something I'm going to have to get surgery maybe before the season starts or whatever. But at least now I know how to take care of myself. I got to actively pull my stomach back every day. So that's it, guys. So I'm doing real well. I just want to give you that heads up. I do. I feel so much better. Got to watch what I eat now and all that stuff. Anyway, let me get into the Connor thing. Connor Williams, I pegged him to be a center for many reasons. He started as a tackle, then he moved to guard, had an injury there, and then he had loads of penalties, and then the Dallas Cowboys let him go. They tried him at center for a spot duty, and he wasn't doing too bad, but they needed him at guard, so he didn't get back to that position. But he had tons of penalties, and when you really watch Connor, he is an athlete, and he's got decent strength for certain position groups, for certain positions on the offensive line. Tackling ain't one of them, guard ain't one of them. And if you saw his wife posted a picture of him, he was real thin. And so the transition to a guard at this stage is the least likely. I think he and the NFL is very clear that his best position is at center. And if he's been that thin, it's going to take a while to get the strength back. When you're at guard, you need more strength in center. So this guy's playing center. I think he has all intentions to play center. He had his best seasons as a center, and he's just getting started. He's still very young, and the snapping issue is a little bit of a thing, but it will get better. And I think this guy and his agent and the league and the Dolphins know he is going to play center. That's where he's at his best. That's where he has intentions to go. So I want to really put that out there. Now, there's a bunch of teams I'm seeing his name circulate around. I don't know if it's all of them. Baltimore, I don't see that. Some people are saying that because I don't think they understand the player. Linderbaum is a very good center. They had him kind of playing left guard, not in that system. It's not going to work. He's not going to play there. I don't see that as a thing. Plus, they got $5 million, -4, and -30 over the next 3 years. He's going to want a sizable contract. He's not playing for peanuts. He's just not, guys. And I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to get a contract not fully commensurate of his talents, but slightly reduced. San Fran, I heard his name. They got Brindle there, who's not very good. But they got 32 this year, -37 and 47. And they're going to want to hit the ground running. And I don't think he's going to be ready by September. I think he could be ready to be on a roster, maybe ready to show his talents. But he was injured late in the season last year, so I don't see that as one either. Now, the Saints, they got McCoy there, and some people are saying, well, you could put McCoy or Williams, whoever wins. I still think neither one of these guys are going to be good, the best as guards. McCoy maybe. Williams, though, I still don't see it. And they got -$88 million. I just don't see it. I think they're going to rebuild at some point. They've tried to fight it off. I don't see that as rational. Bears is another team. They could use him. They got plenty of money, $21, $60, and $160 the next 3 years. I think that's a place where he could go. They got Caleb Williams there. They're willing to maybe let Williams get in there and slowly acclimate himself back to the position. So I think they're not under any pressure to win this year. I mean, big. So I could see that as a possibility. But to me, LA is the team where I think he is most likely to go. They've got 21, 44, and 155. And the terrible, terrible deal with Corey Linsley. Had a blood clot or in his brain or something. It was some crazy thing. I can't remember right now. My brain's not working so well. But this awesome player retired very young. And they got to hold that center position. And Harbaugh totally believes in the offensive line. And he would have a chance to get him in here. And the Chargers aren't under a huge. They need to win some, but this is sort of a rebuilding thing. They're in with the Chiefs. So I could see both by need and for Williams to get a shot to play center, because that's where he's going to make the most money. That's where he's going to play his best. That's where his body probably is most situated to be, not guard. And LA is a team that players love Harbaugh. And I know there's a whole thing between Tua and Herbert. Herbert sucks and whatever. Some people say Tua sucks, whatever. But this is a team that has interest from free agents. And Williams, I think, is going to choose maybe here, although Bears is another option. I don't see him coming here, guys. And I think it's very clear. We've got 16 this season. -9, and then 52. That's not a lot of money with the Tua contract lurking over us. But if you look at Brewer's contract, you'll see that if we get rid of him next year, it's like -$8 million, and we can't afford that. And he can't play guard. He's too small. He struggles dealing with what he's got to deal with in the power area at center. And that could be mitigated. You have guys on both sides, and the scheme calls and the way it's set up, it can protect you. Now, with what we like to do, it's not saying Brewer's going to suck. He's in a situation where we love to run that outside zone stretch and the draw plays, and it fits perfectly for his position, for his skill type. But if you move him out to guard, then he's going to be battling with Eichenberg. He's going to be battling with Wynn. And I don't think he could beat Win out. He might not be able to beat Eichenberg out. I think it's not that Eichenberg's so good, but that size does play a major role. And I think that when you see Brewer at one of these guard positions, you just line your DT or NT on him and you bull through. And that can break apart your zone stretch. It can break apart a lot of stuff. Inside, though, he can get the protection from the two guards. And I don't see Williams playing that left guard spot. He's not going to have his full strength till next year, both the tendon itself and his physical strength. And they're not getting rid of Brewer because of the money, and he's going to want a decent contract. And I do think that there is probably some animosity to some degree because he transitioned to a new position, which is very risky for a guy in his position, being a free agent. He did it with good intentions, and he played really well. kind of left hanging, and he had to go through a horrific journey that it might not even end in him playing. We're still not certain, although because the agent's job is to lie. So I just don't see him coming back here. Greer's going to want to offer him a bottom dollar. He's not going to let him play center. He'll be a backup. Do you think he's going to come here after what he's played and be a backup? I just don't see it. I see that he's going to get a better opportunity. He's going to get equal money someplace else. And so we should want to sign him. This guy was very talented. You can say, oh, he missed this snap and missed that snap. But what he brought to the table was tremendous. I've gone over it again and again. He's the best center we've had since Pouncey, even with those poor snaps. This guy is going, if he can get himself healthy and just get a little bit more in that snapping department, he's going to be a Pro Bowl. He's going to be a top-end player. I don't know if he's going to. So we're not bringing him here. Because Brewer is the guy we committed to. And it's not to say we're doomed, because what we're running here, I think there's going to be a small morphing and changing in what we do on the offense. There's no way you bring a guy like a Brewer in here, understanding who that player is, and then kind of not tailor things around him. So I think Brewer is a key piece because Grier has his way in his vision with the offensive line, and Brewer and how he's designed it and how this offense is designed it is going to tell us everything we need to know about McDaniel and Grier. And so I think they intend to let this run. I think it's going to be Wynn, Brewer, and Eichenberg, and let us see. There's no way for us to say it's going to be this, or that. Clearly, there's some skill set weaknesses, there's some skill set strengths, and you can say that. But let's see it play out, and I think that's going to be the way it is. So I think clearly we should sign him. Guy's super talented. We're not, but we still don't even know if he is going to be who he was, which is sad. So that's my take on it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Curtis, and catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.